mini breaks are a swirling nebula of nonsense. How can anyone go somewhere new and be expected to enjoy themselves without a decade to decompress? With no idea where to go, how to eat or what to do, it's impossible to stop the whole thing turning into a monumental fudge-up. But do not tether yourself to a rack and rend yourself asunder. With no mandate whatsoever, I, a weak man containing some of the key elements of rich and Ayoade, have come to your aid. Accompanied by a whole quiver of well-known faces, I'm going to take you hurtling through a foolproof maxi mini break. This is travel without mercy. Tonight, 48 hours in Copenhagen, the most visited destination in Scandinavia. The style-saturated Danish capital has been voted Europe's most green city and is the home of Nordic noir. And to be the cagney to my Lacey is amateur wrestler and comedian Noel Fielding.
A friend of mine got touched up on a ghost train once.
Together, we will aggressively examine national cuisine, descend into the underworld.
This is where they used to shower in the 80s.
And cop a cup of cultural enrichment.
Where the is Mike?
As we take you on a weekend away based on the summary of events you've just heard.
We're here, but should we have come?
If time is your ally, a bod can get the train to Copenhagen via Brussels, thus careering through a couple of capitals. Or travelling by car and ferry can give a cat many multiples of perambulatory permutations. But we don't have time to dawdle or conserve the world's dwindling fuel supplies, so we're going by plane.
They call me the Gothic Elvis.
Doing Suspicious Minds.
I look a bit like Elvis, but unfortunately it's the bit just before he died.
When he was loaded up on burgers and bad dreams.
Yeah. Obviously you didn't get my memo. I wanted to go to Hawaii. Why are we going to Copenhagen?
Well, I'll tell you why.
Copenhagen is the capital of Denmark. With a population of just under 2 mil, Copenhagen is the largest city in Scandinavia and, according to the massively chillaxed dudes at Lonely Planet, the coolest. We have Copenhagen to thank for Hans Christian Andersen, Sandy Toksvig, Lego, the pedal bin, and my old adversary, the pH scale. And if that wasn't enough to make you sick to the middle, the city tops the UN charts for the happiest place on earth. A weekend in the Danish capital will cost around £257, a figure we may well exceed through arrogance. After a frankly unfilmable airport transfer, we rock up at our digs.
This is delightful.
Welcome to Hotel Alexandra and welcome to Copenhagen.
Located in central Copenhagen, the Hotel Alexandra is dense with Danish design classics. The rooms also act as a short-term storage solution for the TV series Mad Men.
Nice. Pretty happy with this.
The entire affair is a mid-century triumph.
What are you doing? Are you
Watching.
tarrying amongst mid-century Danish modernism? What did I tell you about tarrying amongst mid-century modern pieces?
I'm just enjoying the tiny
We've got
chairs.
48 hours to wrap the shiz up, like Murphy and Nolte before us.
This is going to be a holiday, not one of your weird, anally retentive fright fests.
Copenhagen's committed cadre of cyclists clock up 1.3 million kilometres a day. So taken are we with this statistic, we've decided to get our spoke game tight and join one of the city's most popular tours.
The bikes are very simple.
Our guide is Mike, whose motto is, if I'm going too fast, then you're on the wrong tour, which doesn't sound like it's going to catch on as a motto.
Kickstand you put down, turn handlebar left, bike falls over. Every time bike goes down, trouble. 3 gears on the bikes, look here. 1, 2, 3, little handle here. If you pedal, push and change gear at the same time, you screw up the gear system, we have a lot of trouble. And again here, going right, same thing.
That's not like trouble.
And then if the curb kiss the front wheel, you know what happens.
Trouble?
Folks, we're leaving. Come on.
Come on, you need to keep up with Mike the bike.
Mike's not waiting.
Where's Mike the bike gone? He's gone.
He doesn't wait. Mike waits for no man.
I tell you what Mike doesn't like. It's trouble.
Trouble.
We can only hope against hope to find Mike before he tears past Copenhagen University, the Danish Design Museum, the Secret Service, and the Little Mermaid.
Where the is Mike?
Where?
Mike! Mike!
It's Mike the Bike. Mike the Bike has gone.
I'm getting the feeling he does not want us on his tour.
After desperately wheeling past some of Copenhagen's leading sites,
Oh, he's over there.
we catch up with Mike at the medieval Copenhagen University, one of the oldest in Northern Europe.
This is beautiful.
Back in old times here in Denmark, me, Danish Viking, you from somewhere else in the world, I would kill all the men, rape the women, steal all your belongings and burn down anything that was left over.
Surely they'd mention that on TripAdvisor.
Come on, folks.
He hates us. Where's Mike? Mike has left us for dead once more.
Sadly, Mike the Bike, like his Viking ancestors before him, is on an unstoppable rampage of forward momentum, leaving us languishing in his wake. Furious at our betrayal, we abandon the tour and power on to its last stop on our Todd. Why? Because we simply could not have lived with ourselves had we not seen what must be described as a statue of Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid.
This is the most visited attraction in Denmark.
She's quite beautiful. I'm not saying I'd get off of her, but she's quite attractive.
It's quite a bleak backdrop.
Yeah.
It's a bit like the end of Get Carter.
Yeah, it's a
Someone's
bit
going
like
to get thrown.
Newcastle.
I wonder what Mike the Bike would have to say.
In sore need of chow to help fuel our epoch-defining quest, it's time for smørrebrød. Who would dare call themselves a person if they went to Copenhagen without trying a traditional Danish open sandwich? These smørrebrøds are the melon farming bomb. I'm taking Noel to Armand's Deli, which is rated by tyre manufacturers Michelin as the top place to try them.
Get involved.
Yeah, and smørrebrød.
We're going to sit side by side.
Yeah, that's how you always sit in a cafe, isn't it? So you can check the exits. I've pre-ordered some stuff so that we don't have to have two interactions.
Some fascist decided that smørrebrød has to be eaten left to right and washed down with a glass of schnapps.
It's very pleasingly put together.
I might just varnish it and wear it like a pirate's hat.
Would you like to know what you're having?
I would like that. Yes, please.
So for you have the beetroot herring. Next one is the pork
Yes.
with pear.
Okay.
And the next one is the rump.
The rump.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy.
Gosh,
Wow.
Subway could certainly learn something
Presentation.
from this. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Pretty good. You started in the middle.
Oh.
You left to right like you read.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Oh. I'm going to sip some schnapps.
Really? That's...
I've got nothing to lose.
You've got a lot to lose.
Wait! Woo! Okay.
Oh.
It's like Castrol GTX.
I'm just going to smell it.
Even you
That's too
smelling
much.
that will mean you'll probably leave
feel
here
dizzy.
naked. I've seen you drunk once.
Oh.
It was unbelievable.
What had happened?
You did quite a lot of impressions of Orson Welles.
Did I?
Yeah.
That's my go-to. I must have had a unit.
You were out of control.
I don't know.
What I
Good
quite
grief.
like now, this must be an English thing, is a hot liquid. I feel like it would ease this down.
Yes.
Because everything's quite cold. And that's it's not a complaint, but I'm not used to eating
Sounds quite a bit like a complaint. It sounded like a complaint.
food. It wasn't a
And
complaint
that
at all.
deafening silence that I just heard descend upon the kitchen
No, but
as two of their staff put their heads into their very cold oven. They've taken it pretty hard. Okay,
As powerful as this is, I'm full.
I'm going to leave this amount because that shows I had restraint
I don't want to touch this one because it's too beautiful colour-wise.
and it's raw meat.
Our guts full of smørrebrød, it's time to bust. Copenhagen prides itself on artistic innovation, so we're heading to one of its many contemporary galleries to cop some culture. And in order to so do, we must make like Beat Combo the Jam and go underground.
Can I be Weller?
No, I don't want to be Bruce Foxton again. I'm always Bruce Foxton in our jam role play.
The Cisterns functioned as Copenhagen's water reservoir until 1933. Now an exhibition space, the current attraction is an installation entitled H, an evocative tone poem comprising 28 columns of illuminated water power showering the cobbles.
Are these just communal showers?
Yeah. This is where they used to shower in the 80s. You'd get Ian Rush in there, Jan Molby.
Jan Molby's Danish, right?
Yeah, that's how I wove it back into Denmark. Shall we go? I think I've taken everything I can.
Fully artistically satisfied, we press on at pace, hungry for more incident. Next on my list of absolute essentials is the 5th oldest theme park in the world. That's right, the 5th.
It is Tivoli.
Opened in 1843, 4.4 million people flock to Tivoli Gardens each year.
Quite heavy on the senses.
A lot of business happening here.
It's like being in a kaleidoscope.
Tivoli inspired Walt Disney's vision of Disneyland, as well as being home to the world's 3rd oldest roller coaster, a fact I find unbearably exciting.
Are you up for that?
No,
Come on.
I don't like it.
You sure?
It's a ridiculous thing to be doing with your life. Men of our age.
You might even have fun.
That's not going to happen.
You might.
What, outside of the bookshop? No.
The Rutscherbahn is the park's most popular ride, because there's nothing that makes you feel more alive than being strapped to a 102-year-old falling object.
Something bad is happening to us.
Oh. A friend of mine got touched up on a ghost train once. Sort of put me off theme parks for a while.
Oh, this bit I don't need.
Oh, wow. Oh, no.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Okay.
Good grief. My body's telling me it's wrong. It's telling me it's wrong. Oh, this is horrendous.
It's sort of better than I thought it was going to be.
It's terrible. Oh, good night.
Oh, that was quite good.
Oh,
Again.
grief.
Again.
Why? What is it? Someone specifically asked for their stomach to feel pre-vomit. Any place where a number of people are screaming is somewhere I try and avoid.
One more?
No.
Come on,
Yeah.
Inspector Gadget, you enjoyed that.
No, I'm leaving.
Squeeze levels at DEFCON, we decide to switch gears. Gallopin has been played by Copenhageners for almost 50 years.
You want to go on Gallopin?
I do like Gallopin.
Gallopin.
Okay, are you ready?
Here we go.
Ready, set,
I
go!
was born ready for Gallopin. This is more our speed for gentlemen of our age, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gallopin. Come on, let's get Gallopin. Let's get Gallopin. There we go. There's Gallopin. I could spend all day at the Gallopin table. There we go. That's right. Are you in the lead? Oh!
That, my friends, is Gallopin.
What a game of Gallopin.
Thank you.
You get that token to keep. You put on your Gallopin trophy board. That's some of the best Gallopin I've ever seen.
We've already delved through the city's underbelly,
Are these just communal showers?
meandered towards a mermaid,
Quite beautiful.
and triumphed at Tivoli.
I'm so pumped for Gallopin.
Day 2 finds our vowels aching for the brief appeasement of breakfast. And because sitting down is for stiffs, we need to cop our chow on the move. Fortunately, the Danish have a solution so good, they named it after themselves.
You could build a sort of pastry man out of all of this, couldn't you?
Right, those are the eyes, mouth.
Have him as your wife.
That could be the nose.
I'm very, very excited about what's happening here.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, like a sort of
I'm still excited
space
by that.
bagel.
St. Peter's, the oldest bakery in Copenhagen, has been serving up their popular pastries since the 17th century, which is ages ago. With 4,000 cinnamon rolls shifted on a Wednesday alone, we feel honoured to participate in the mass consumption of baked goods.
Oh, crumbs.
I'm so happy about this. I'm loving it.
I need a shot of insulin.
This is my favourite breakfast. This is all I do.
Sweets.
Yeah. I mean,
Are you 8?
As the glucose snakes through our veins,
I'm absolutely buzzing.
we continue our desperate digestion of Danish culture. With our last 24 hours evaporating like tears and hot wind, we plan to cross the city in the most time-efficient and green way possible. Anyone can use the bikes, you just need to register online or on the bike's tablet.
Well,
Look, I've set up a login, which I very graciously am going to allow you to use.
Oh, no.
I know, it's the typing in.
Oh,
bit.
no.
It's absolutely exhausting. Oh, hang on. Hey now.
Click. Yes. Whoa, these are heavy.
They're really heavy. They've got power assist. Because it's so hilly, Denmark.
I can feel the power assist. Will it assist me in other areas of my life?
A high-tech wheel across town takes us towards a monumental depot of Danish drinking.
This looks like a goblin lives in here.
There's no one in there. It's this door.
Oh, right.
Right.
So, what's happening?
We're going to the Carlsberg Museum.
Why?
I'll tell you why. It's a Carlsberg experience.
Right.
And on the strength of that pun, I booked it. Also, it's quite a Route 1 decision, Carlsberg, Denmark. Let's go in. The Carlsberg Brewery Museum is housed in the original 1847 brewery and boasts the world's largest unopened bottle collection, as well as gastronomic beer tasting. And because we so desperately want the beer tasting to go as well as possible, we decide to get our olfactory game tight at the smelling station.
Toast. Yeah, that's good. That smells like you're having a stroke. Malt. I don't like that one.
I don't know.
That one's too strong. It's like being slapped by a tiny, scented fist.
I always feel smell comes across very well on television.
Citrus.
Oh,
Prunes.
I'm not sure about prunes.
I'm sure about prunes. Eee, that smells like old money.
Oh, when it smells slightly metally.
You know when you're a child and you suck a penny?
I didn't
ever do
I was
that.
advised against doing that
well,
by
you
my legal advisor. Newly knighted nasal ninjas, we move on to the tasting, trembling with anticipation. But dramatically, Anders ups the ante.
I'm going to put you to the test, see if you can identify some aromas in these beers. You up for it?
Wow. Not really. I didn't realise it was going to get so competitive so soon. Did you commit those 20 aromas to memory?
Well, I knew some of them anyway, like banana. I had smelt banana before. Yeah. Is that cheating?
Yeah. And so it begins. There you go.
You need a good head on the beer. Do you know why?
Okay. I do not know why.
Because the head releases the aromas.
Banana.
Does it?
See, he's too fast.
There's some very young beer testers coming through here.
Yeah.
We do have activities for children happening all around.
Do they get
Well, you
taste?
say that.
They do not get
Okay.
not on my watch, at least.
It'd be fun though, right?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Have a sip.
I'm finding it hard to
Really
think of a
nice.
word other than beer
Thank you.
for what it tastes like. It tastes like beer. As the rapport between Anders and I builds, so does my confidence, and I feel ready to employ my newly acquired expertise. It's very similar to the first one. I'm getting banana again. If this last one smells like banana, I'll know this whole thing's a rip-off.
There's lemon in that, right?
Let's open banana number 3.
Banana.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this.
Is that you?
Bit unbanana-y for me.
I'd happily drink all of these.
By this stage, I'm in pieces. This is the most alcohol I've ever drunk. Well, Anders, thanks for this.
You're
My
welcome.
judgment is impaired, but we have to leave you. We're on a very limited timescale.
No problem at all.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
It was a
very
real
much.
pleasure.
That's
Thanks
a lot.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
There's some very drunk miners here. As Noel tries to shepherd his complimentary alcohol past some belligerent under-5s, we suddenly yearn for simpler times and search for a place where we could rebuild society from scratch.
It's like the 70s.
Established in 1971, the self-governed hippie haven of Christiania is a city within the city of Copenhagen. Famous for its open selling of reefer, despite it being illegal, its 800 residents have chosen to live outside traditional society, like the people of Bedford. But even though it's called Freetown, the man still seems to be laying down a whole roll of rules. So these are the rules?
Yeah, have fun.
Okay.
Of course, you can relax and
Yeah.
behave just as anywhere else.
Making it a rule seems somewhat counterintuitive, but go on. Our guide Kirsten, a Christiania veteran, has been pretending to have fun here for 35 years.
Don't run, it causes panic.
Yeah.
It's because police is coming here quite often.
Yeah.
And they used to come in to surprise, of course, the dealers in the street.
Bunk the
so,
police.
of course, they get nervous if somebody's running because
Yeah.
they think it will be the police on its way.
That's
so
why
that's
Mo
why.
Farah can't come here.
Banksy's been here.
And no photo.
Yes.
Banksy's quite a short man. He's
Yeah.
getting smaller, which is why.
Rules don't apply to Mavericks, so we set off to see some of Christiana's crazy cribs.
And is this a house that someone's built themselves?
Yes, yes. Many self-built houses, around 60 of them. Another good thing about Christiania is no cars. No parking
cars.
in here.
It's a good way to keep Jeremy Clarkson out of a community.
Yes.
A lot of people jogging.
Pardon?
Jogging, a lot of people jogging.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. People from town, they use it much.
Slightly goes against the no running rule.
The dream of the 90s is alive in Christiania. I'm not convinced.
No. If you were dropped here now, quite a strange place because Copenhagen itself is quite neat and tidy and clean and efficient. Very efficient. Rigid, maybe tight even, uptight. And this is kind of opposite to that, and this is right in the centre of it, so...
It's a bit too loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
For me. I like being uptight. Come on. As our time in the Danish capital draws to a close, we cannot leave without seeing one of Copenhagen's mightiest slabs. The Rundetårn, aka the Round Tower, houses Europe's oldest working observatory and was built with a ramp that spirals all the way to the top so the king could ride his horse to the summit. We're powering up this.
I know.
Yeah, quite good.
Well, the floor's getting uneven now. Cubans.
Well, give them a break. This must have been a nightmare to produce back in 1642.
They didn't have to make the floor out of Jenga pieces, did they?
Entry to the Rundetårn is £2.50 and ups the total amount of coin we've dropped this weekend to £456.49.
How have you found Copenhagen?
I've really enjoyed the open sandwiches.
Yes, it's a city without a top deck of bread. What about Mike the Bike?
Didn't enjoy that so much.
Going to stay in touch with Mike the Bike? I saw him press you for an email at the end.
I did give him a false email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I've enjoyed most was Gallopin.
Gallopin. I'm getting one put in my house and I'm inviting you around.
I am going to move in.
We'll always have Gallopin.
We'll always have Gallopin.
I know.
Let's get the funk out of here.
Let's go.
Mini breaks are a swirling nebula of nonsense. How can anyone go somewhere new and be expected to enjoy themselves without a decade to decompress? With no idea where to go, how to eat or what to do, it's impossible to stop the whole thing turning into a monumental fudge-up. But fear not, fellow sojourners, for I, Richard Ayoade's legally appointed representative, have been authorised to help in this time of times.
Accompanied by a whole quiver of well-known faces, I'm going to take you hurtling through a foolproof maxi mini break.
This is travel without mercy.
This eve, 48 hours in Moscow. Stacked high with history, culture and oligarchy, a person of thrift could secure a weekend in Moscow for close to £1,300. Accompanying me on this two-day sojourn is a man on the scale of a Russian futurist statue, the formidable actor and comedian Greg Davies. Together we will sensuously submerge ourselves in tradition.
Greg, why did you insist that I sit at this angle?
Ingest the local culture.
Now we're talking.
And breakfast like bandits.
Oh, that is strong. What better television is there than two men pressing buttons? Bang. We're here, but should we have come?
To visit Moscow, you need to apply for a visa, which involves a whole fountain of faff. Faff can be quelled by taking a package holiday, but this isn't package, man. That shows in development with a more accessible host. So we cop our visas and touch down.
Greg Davies, thanks for joining me in Moscow.
Thanks for having me here. Why are we here, Richard?
Well, I'll tell you why. Moscow dropped onto the world scene about a millennium ago, and it's been invaded, besieged or revolutionised at least once a century ever since. It was recently voted the most unfriendly city in the world, which immediately endears me to it. And, mercifully, Russian children are taught not to smile at school, because it's not charming, it's actually quite needy.
Our first destination is Red Square. Oft described as the heart of Moscow and even all Russia, it's been the scene of May Day parades, public executions and, chillingly, a Shakira concert.
Well, Greg, we're in Red Square.
We are.
How do you feel?
I feel powerful.
You look powerful.
Thank you very much. I feel strangely at home. I am Russian by height.
Yeah. The Russian word for red, krasny, originally meant beautiful and has only come to mean red in more recent times. Looming large is the 15th century fortified complex known on the street as the Kremlin, and therein lies the presidential pad.
It's mightily impressive. It's very macho.
We've got the Goom, which now isn't even the biggest department store in Moscow.
I was surprised it was a department store at all.
I know.
I thought it would be an austere military building, but it's for clothes.
It's alarmingly wide. That's St. Basil's. St. Basil's Cathedral was built in the 16th century during the reign of Ivan the Terrible, whose name limits interpretation of his character. Red Square also allows you access to the Russian History Museum and Lenin's tomb, making it a sound opening salvo for the tourists looking to ram a whole case of culture down their gullet.
I like it. I like it here.
Pretty much within 20 seconds, we've taken in all we need to take in. I don't know where everyone's gone.
When we arrived, there were lots of people here.
Yeah, and they scattered.
They've got...
Yeah.
Which makes me think we're about to be arrested.
That's state police intervening after that comment.
Yeah.
Mercifully, the police aren't on my back again, but we have been very much interrupted by a fleet of World War II military vehicles practicing for the Russian Military Day of Honor parade. So, like the decrepit tanks we are, we make a tactical retreat. So would you recommend walking in on a Second World War military display in Red Square as something to do when everyone else comes to Moscow?
Absolutely, number one on my list so
You've
far.
got to do it.
Yeah.
You've just got to do it.
Well, I imagine you've got other treats in store for me.
Yes, they also have a martial undertow. Let's go and investigate them. There's a well-impressive 450 museums in Moscow, but there's only one that celebrates a Cold War battle for spaceflight supremacy, giving it a capitalistic monopoly on actual shiz that has been in space, which is why we're bearing down on the Cosmonaut Museum. We are being given a tour by Daria, who is keen to gauge the level of our space knowledge.
You know what's there?
The moon.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the moon.
It's the moon, okay.
Right,
Okay.
I know that.
We're really going back to basics.
Daria is taking us inside a replica of the MIR Space Station. The original MIR was launched in 1986 and could orbit the Earth in just over 90 minutes, which is half the time it takes to get across London, which is smaller than space.
What's interesting we can see here, firstly is the sleeping bag.
Yes, but they're sleeping upright.
Yeah, cosmonauts don't know where is up and where is,
matter.
and where is down.
What's happening to your brain at that stage when you have no orientation?
I think it's probably a little bit like having a tooth missing. You just adjust.
That sounded too specific
all
to
I've
be
got.
just a general example.
That's all I've got.
Also, you can look there. You know what's this?
This is a
Yes,
toilet.
That's a toilet.
Yeah, this is space toilet.
This is very similar to my toilets at home.
Really?
Yeah,
And you know, it works like a vacuum cleaner.
exactly like
Yeah,
mine.
This,
Yeah.
this.
You have the vacuum toilet.
Exactly like mine.
Through
Yeah.
choice, don't you?
Not through choice, through medical advice.
I see.
To complete the immersive cosmonaut experience, visitors can sample genuine space food.
It looks delicious. This is meat.
Yes,
One of them.
What's for dessert?
cracker,
Oh,
iris,
Okay.
marmalade.
what's that?
Iris, marmalade.
Any fruit?
It's good.
Bush.
It's very good.
Another bush. Okay.
Yes,
Thanks.
nice.
Our astronomical fare duly secured, we can finally start squirting our first course onto some dry crackers. That's a long, hard space trip. I can see why they need that space toilet.
Can we have some meat and veg before we
Try
move on
some
to our
meat.
dessert? Oh, no.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, dear.
That's going to be floating all around.
I would be able to,
Yeah,
in space, of course.
that's going to end up a horrible gif.
Really squeeze it.
Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, dear.
Yield. No.
You know you're failing phase one of the cosmonauts training program. Let's have some pudding.
No. I think it's a drink, maybe. It might be a drink.
It wasn't made clear to me at the
No.
space station.
How's that? Good?
No. It's the antithesis of good.
Okay. Your drink's leaking all over the shuttle. But we've done all we can with history and science, so we rotate our periscopes to pop culture. Moscow is the 4th most congested city on Earth, and this entirely unevocative stat has meant we've decided to hop on the metro with all its Stalin-era barockery. What do you think of the Baroque ceiling, first made in 1935?
Genuinely impressive.
Yeah.
And it has the added bonus of being historically fascinating and reminding me of all my Frankie Goes to Hollywood 12 inches.
Sure. The intricate ceilings are but one of the reasons that the Moscow metro stations are rated among the most beautiful in the world by a rating system whose methodology should not be questioned too closely.
I think it's better than Cockfosters.
Get out.
I do think that.
You've not been to Cockfosters recently?
I have been to Cockfosters
Have you?
recently. There was nothing for me to rub for luck.
Like this dog snapped.
Like that dog snagged.
Very lucky. Go on. But not as lucky as this loading mechanism of the gun. This is a germaphobe's delight. I don't like it.
Give the dog's nose a rub. This lady has. Look.
No,
Yeah.
she's off to play the lottery now.
Yeah. Horribly killed by a train.
I'm not so sure. Greg has revealed himself to have the empirical compass of a warlock. So we switch tack and travel back in time to experience what life was like in Soviet-era Moscow, but in a very specific way. This is it.
This is the one.
This might look like the waiting lounge of an advertising agency, but it's a working archive of Soviet-era arcade games.
Were you a big gamer in your time?
I was not.
Ah.
I was very physical, lots of wrestling. Until the end of communist rule about 25 years ago, Russian youths had no access to the fascist brainwashing assault of Pac-Man or Donkey Kong. Instead, they were getting their minds blown by kit like this. Well, what better television is there than two men pressing buttons? Bang. Nothing but net.
Surprised you're a gloater.
Thank you. I'm not surprised.
I mean, it solves a mystery of why there was tension with the West, because I feel incredibly tense.
This is very pleasurable. Although I'm happy to display my virtual sporting prowess, Greg insists that we must station to one of the many games that mostly consist of blowing shiz up.
Aha! Yeah, I'm off the score sheet.
Gosh, it really is hard to sink enemy ships.
This is actually a great game. I think the real torpedo launches are accompanied by a sound of a bag of crisps being opened as well. What I think's intriguing is that you dominated on the basketball court. When it comes to military tactics,
yes,
I have the superior mind.
Upon the ocean, you triumphed. Let's see how the battle continues. With our gaming all square at one apiece, we've decided to find a winner the old Russian way. Whoever gets the most Russian road signs corresponding to the Russian text will win. Wow. And bear in mind, we only have 48 hours in Moscow, and this was one of the things you chose to do. Bear that in mind. Let's start. Oh, I'm wrong.
Perhaps my giant hands come into play here. Oh, I'm off.
Oh, you've got one?
Yeah.
Are you pressing all of them?
Yes, I am.
That is really unsportsmanlike. What we're doing is like two insane seals slapping
This game could
road
save your life,
signs.
Richard.
It could. Well, I think you've won.
None of us.
A random event caused
No
you
one
to
here
win.
has won.
I think television's won. I think television's beaten us. As the eve envelops us, our thoughts turn to culture and pretending to care about it. Moscow is rightly renowned for its theatre, ballet and circus. But these events are exhaustingly time-hungry, so we're going to something which combines all three.
I'm sorry, Richard, what is this?
It's a cat circus. It's a cat circus, Greg.
There's a fine line between kooky and really worrying.
And creepy. The Cat Theatre quarters over 200 cats spanning 38 breeds, and, unsurprisingly, the theatre is one of the only of its kind on the planet. This cat is just trying to survive. I said Bolshoi Ballet. You wouldn't know. Cat circus.
No. I've heard
It'll
about
be
the
kooky.
cat circus.
As the show builds towards what we hope is a close, things are beginning to take a troubling turn. I'm losing my... I'm not sure how much more I can take of this.
There's hundreds of cats on crystal balls.
You know, we have limited time, and I feel this could go on forever.
As you wish.
I'm leaving.
I'm coming.
I've got to. Well, I feel you only need to see that once, if at all.
I think it is one of the strangest things that I will ever see.
Yes.
I think the people watching this are going to be very disappointed that you didn't join in when all the kids were clapping for their performing cats.
No, I'm not. I know what happens here when people start clapping in unison, and I do not want to be a part of it. Let's leave.
We are halfway through our morally serious rampage through the alluring architecture and heady history of Moscow. Thus far, we have gamed like Soviets.
Bang. All net.
Eaten like cosmonauts.
Oh, that's a shame.
And seen some trained cats.
I said Bolshoi Ballet. You wouldn't know. Circus.
As Day 2 prizes its wonder open, we strive to slip under the skin of this monumental city rather than just walking around periodically consulting TripAdvisor.
I know what you're thinking. What would it be like to live like a local?
How do you do it?
Like Meatloaf, I've taken the words right out of your mouth.
It's incredible.
I'm going to show you.
Moscow has enough walking tours to keep you tramping round so-called points of interest for fortnights. But local residents George and Anna have blown the tour game wide open with their Moscow Like a Local tour, exploring historic Moscovian neighbourhood Chisty Prudy.
This place actually, the pond. A couple of centuries ago, it used to be called a foul pool.
Right.
The reason is there lived a lot of butchers around here.
Okay.
And they used to dump their waste just in this pond.
It was a meat pond.
It was, yeah.
It was dirty, smelly, and disgusting place.
I mean, that is never going to catch on, a meat pond, is it?
Yeah. Unless it could have been heated from underneath, and then it could have been a soup.
Soup.
But you can never get heated enough in Moscow anyway.
No.
So.
I just got some sausages I want to throw in this pond.
Yeah, not now. Like maybe 2 centuries earlier.
Not only does the tour take in former meat ponds, but also food-based architecture.
We are near the egg house.
It looks like it could take off.
Yeah, it's true.
It's good.
George and Anna insist that to really feel like a local, we must, even at 10 in the AM, like 600 years worth of Muscovites before us, have a volley of vodka slammed into our necks.
After you drink every shot, you take a piece of pure bread, fresh bread, and smell it. When you don't feel the smell, you should stop drinking.
Okay.
It's a good indicator when you should.
When your
stop.
senses fail you, call it a day.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, that is strong. I'm going to smell some bread now.
Yeah. I can smell the bread.
May I put some second one?
Oh, we are having a second one.
Wow.
For sure.
I'm afraid once I've had 2, I can't stop. It's one of my rules.
Mercifully for Greg, George knows how to use the impregnable Russian barrier of pig fat bread spread.
It's a fat, so it will accumulate alcohol inside your stomach and you won't be drunk.
And so the fat is to soak up the alcohol.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling it.
That's all I can do. I'm losing the bread. The bread's lost.
I'm having a lovely morning.
Thank you.
If you want to have a lovely morning in Russia,
Yes.
start with a couple shots, take a pickle, and go for a walk.
And then just try and operate that forklift.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, yeah.
Dangerously drowsy and chilled to ourselves, we march on to enmesh ourselves in further events.
Where are we going?
We're going to a bathhouse.
Right.
Pushkin, Tolstoy and Chekhov are mainly known for how seriously they took their toilet, and part of their rightly celebrated skincare regime involved the patronage of these baths, which is still an active part of Moscow culture at this very moment. The great and the only so-so can broil together, bonded by the belief that all men are equal when undressed. But I don't need to strip down to feel inferior, so I robe up to the gullet.
Oh, hello, gentlemen.
Hi. Can you tell by my body language how comfortable I am?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is this the proper appearance?
Yes, of course.
Presumably I will be incredibly cool and relaxed because I'm wearing this hat, whereas Richard will be horribly uncomfortable.
Yeah. We advise all clients to wear it.
Okay.
Let's go to the steam room.
Okay. Don't forget your hat.
Yuri is taking us for a speciality of these baths, a birch leaf treatment that is supposed to improve circulation. Greg volunteers with giddying eagerness.
Greg, why did you insist that I sit at this angle? Because for me, this is a bad angle. I am not engaging with this.
Some of it's quite nice, but it feels like it's building to something sinister.
Yeah.
Oh, there! That's sinister.
This is a woodland version of Stomp.
I imagine this looks...
It doesn't look good, Greg.
This is nice. Ah!
Wow.
I deserve this.
Bang.
With Greg bewhacked into new strata of sensation, he moves with unearthly alacrity to the traditional post-steam ice-cold douche.
There are people who work here in the background actively laughing.
Ready? Go.
Well, that was creepy. How do you feel about it?
I went in there with a tick list of 3 things, Richard.
Okay, tell me what was on the tick list.
I wanted to wear a hat, maybe look like a sinister children's character.
Tick.
I wanted topless men to thrash me with sticks.
Tick.
And then I wanted to be driven close to a heart attack with ice-cold water.
Well, that's excellent news for the tick chart, because
so much
that's
for...
3 ticks. I think let's go on, let's explore. There might even be more to Moscow than that.
There doesn't seem much point, but let's try.
Let's soldier on. Here we go.
Right.
Feeling more authentic than mid-period Matthew McConaughey, we look for objects that can commemorate our sojourn. Our dear companion Google Maps predicts a 33-min taxi journey. Time enough for Greg and I to contemplate the cultural influences of the West on Moscow since the collapse of the Iron Curtain.
Do you think Tears for Fears were big in Moscow?
Where weren't Tears for Fears big? That music will not be denied.
Izmailovo Flea Market is celebrating its glorious 26th year of trading. There's an infinite presence of craft shops and food areas, as well as a flea market section selling high-quality knick-knackery.
Well,
wow.
This is the flea market.
That's a market.
It's wonderfully integrated within the local community.
It is.
Like the capitalist scum we are, we look to hoover up some goods.
I say, Richard.
What's that, Greg?
I hate Russian dolls.
Why's that?
So full of themselves.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, you've got Patrick Stewart from Next Generation Star Trek.
This style, 2,000 rubles.
I could get something signed by Patrick Stewart for 1,000.
2,200 rubles, maybe?
It goes up. Haggling with this man is not
dangerous.
It's not going to go well. If you haggle with him for a while, you'll just leave owing money even if you don't buy anything.
Yeah. What I'm interested in is Putin on a bear.
Yes.
This 6,000 rubles.
6,000 rubles.
Yes.
I only have 4,000.
Ah.
Ah.
There's the rub. What about these 2 for 6,000?
Okay, and 2 plastic bags for free.
That's
wonderful.
Good.
Done.
It's the joke that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Year in, year out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Come back next time?
We will come back.
Yeah.
The final minutes of our 48 hours in mighty Moscow will soon elapse. But before we can tap in our pins at duty free, we head to the statue of Peter the Great to dissect and digest.
It's been a visit of highs and lows.
Well, I know what your high was.
Well, I think you know what my high was.
Cat circus.
Correct, it was.
Thank you. You loved that cat circus.
I did.
I very much enjoyed Red Square.
You can't avoid being impressed.
What a square.
How are you feeling on reflection about not revealing any of your body in the baths?
Well, as you know, I'm covered in Maori tattoos.
You are.
And Nazi symbols.
Unusual to do them yourself.
It is unusual. No one else needs to see it.
Our conclusion is steadfast. Moscow is a mighty city that combines coldness and warmth, whereas I only possess the former.
At the beginning of the trip, you told me in no uncertain terms that you and I would not hug at any point.
That is a stipulation I stand by. I don't want it. I know it's there. No.
What if
You're in Russia 48 hours and you're already trying to stage some kind of coup. Don't slide along the bench to me. I'm free. I'm a free man. I live in the West. I'm free.